100% of people rehabbing from ACL injuries face this exact thing: fear. Fear of re-injury is the number one thing that stops most people from playing their sport again. And I get it, going through this process again is not something that anyone would want to do. So in this video, I'm going to give you a simple framework that you can implement for your own rehab today so that you can build confidence to play your sport again. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Josh Irwanto. I'm a physical therapist that specializes in ACLs and returning to sport. I've helped over 200 people through this exact stage, so let's dive into the video. So why is it that fear after ACL surgery is not talked about enough? See, a lot of times when we think about the ACL injury, that is just a physical limitation. Something happened to the knee and we're just focusing on getting it stronger and getting it more stable. And in some cultures, some environments, the mental side of injury just isn't talked about enough. It often gets brushed aside because it can be seen as a sign of weakness. But 100% is not a weakness. It's definitely legitimate, and everybody going through this process, this ACL injury process, goes through the same thing. So why does this happen to everybody? Your brain remembers the injury, the moment when it happened, up to the surgery date, up to the few weeks and months you are learning how to walk again. It's literally like learning how to use your knee again for the first time. A lot of the stuff that we fear about are just something that you haven't done for a long time. So the brain is very protective. It gives you these warning signals to try to warn you not to do something. And this can show up as hesitation, maybe pulling back when you're about to stop, and probably avoiding some movements without even realizing you're avoiding them. And all of this can happen even when you're physically strong. Even when you pass all the strength testing, jump testing, return to sport stuff, that doesn't mean you're mentally ready, because physical capacity and mental readiness are not the same thing. The mental side coming back from an ACL injury is arguably, in my opinion, more important than the physical side. So today I want to provide a very clear and simple framework that you can use. It's called the FEAR framework, F-E-A-R. And there's 4 steps in this framework: face it, evaluate, act on it, and rebuild it. The first 2, face it and evaluate, will help you assess and understand what you're dealing with. The last 2, act on it and rebuild on it, gives you tangible solutions on what to actually do with it. So let's start with step 1, face it. Again, we want to acknowledge how you feel about the fear and the doubt after this injury. It's not a weakness. Don't dismiss it. Acknowledge it and own it. The problem is, it's probably easier said than done, right? Most people just push this feeling aside, and having access to so many social media platforms now, it's so easy to see someone else maybe ahead of you, maybe gotten back to their sport much earlier than you. So it's easy to fall for the comparison trap. But it's super important we start off with acknowledging it, because this is the first step to actually solving it. Step 2 is evaluate. And I mean, we're gonna get really specific here. Often I hear from people rehabbing, oh, I just don't trust my knee. I don't know if I can handle this. I have this fear of playing back to sport. While those are all valid concerns, we have to get a little bit more specific, because fear loves to stay in ambiguity. That basically means fear exists when there's a lot of unknowns. So the more we can zoom in and understand what exactly is it that I'm fearful about, the more we can overcome this fear. Is it the thought of going through this injury again? Or is it because you are afraid of not being able to perform like you used to? Or is it the fact that maybe your teammates, friends, family don't see you the same way? Are there specific movements that you're scared of doing? You see how fear can be zoomed in on different angles. So the more you can understand what it is exactly for you, the more we can tackle and try to solve this thing. So the next step is to actually put a number on it. How do we do that? There's a questionnaire called the ACL RSI. So ACL Return to Sport Index. You can grab these online. If you just search ACL RSI online, it's a 12-question questionnaire which you can fill out by yourself at home. I suggest you do it once a month, and it gives you a really good chance of reflecting upon what exactly are the aspects of fear that I'm scared about. So after you fill out the 12 questions, there's a total score at the end. And the science shows that if you score less than 77 on this questionnaire, your chances of returning to sport is significantly less. So it's important to understand exactly what part of fear is that you're scared about. And again, you want to do this once a month, track it, progress it, because now it's not just a feeling anymore. It's a tangible score, a number that you can start tracking and try to improve on. So step 3, act on it. So before we get in deeper with the mental, psychological side, we first have to tackle the physical foundations first. So you want to make sure first that your strength is up to par. So we're talking about that 95% symmetry. I've made a separate video on return to sport testing. So you want to make sure you get these physical checklists done first, comparing symmetry between your surgical and your non-surgical side. And these numbers are tangible proof that your knee can handle the load. Just hitting those physical numbers like the strength testing and the jump testing can provide you another layer of confidence boost. So make sure you start off checking off those physical tests first. But here's the moment where it falls apart for most people. They hit the numbers, they finish the testing, their surgeon and physical therapist told them that they're good to go. But when you try to actually play your sport, you feel like you're not ready yet. This is because passing a strength test or a jump test in a clinic setting is completely different to you being able to perform, change directions on the field. Remember that physical capacity and mental readiness are not the same thing. They need to be built together, and that's why step 4 exists. So step 4 is rebuild through gradual exposure. Give yourself at least 8 weeks or longer for this stage. Here's what a progression should look like. I'll use soccer as an example, but this framework can apply to most sports. So phase 1 could look like straight line running with no direction changes. Just getting used to being on the field again, no unpredictability, very controlled environment. Phase 2 could look like adding speed and agility. So changing directions, decelerating, accelerating, responding to different stimulus, and being able to predict what's coming. The intensity is going up, but the environment is still controlled. Phase 3 could look like full speed and some positional drills. So shooting, cutting, and movements that mimic the actual sport demands. And this is when it starts to feel like you're playing your sport again. Phase 4, team training. Starting off as a neutral player with no contact, starting off with small-sided games, and working your way up to bigger groups. Phase 5 is a real competitive game. The key is managing your minutes, easing in over a number of weeks. Phase 6 is the last phase where you're full back to performance. So this is when you get to really perform, you're feeling confident physically and mentally, similar to your pre-injury levels or better. And that is the finish line. The mistake that I've seen 99% of people make is going from phase 1 straight to full games. And that's exactly how the fear and doubt continues to stay for years and years, because there was no gradual progression to get you there. Remember that our brain likes to build trust, and trust takes time. Also, it's important to know that everyone's timeline might look different. I've seen a lot of people physically ready at 12 months, but they're not mentally ready until a year and a half, maybe 2 years. That's just a normal part of the process. If you want to see how I use this fear framework as part of a bigger return to sport plan, I put together a free video training for you to watch to understand my exact process that has helped over 200 people get back to sports. I'll drop that link in the description. So in closing, there's 4 steps to overcoming your fear after ACL surgery. Face it, don't dismiss it. Evaluate and get specific. Act on it. So make sure your physical foundations are set first, then you can bridge the gap between your brain and your knee. And lastly, rebuild. Step by step, no shortcuts. The mental side of this injury deserves just as much attention and structure as the physical side. So whatever you got going on, keep going. You got this. I'll see you in the next one.